Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Trevor Abrahams, a retired credit manager. His specialist subject is the broadcaster and journalist Sir Trevor McDonald. Rob Price, a quality assurance manager, will be answering questions on Leeds United Football Club. Sharon Redding, a former teacher. Her subject is the Hollywood actress Myrna Loy. And Carol Kermode, a farmer's wife. Her specialist subject, the history of cattle. Let's hope our contenders tonight are fully prepared for an icy blast, a blizzard of questions from all angles, hammering down like monsoon rain. Will they be able to cope with the pressure, the ticking clock, the glare of the spotlight, that black chair? Who will be dancing nimbly through the tempest, having a lark, singing in the rain? We'll soon find out. And we wish our contenders well as they face 2 minutes on a specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. So, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Trevor Abrahams.
Your occupation?
Retired credit manager.
And your specialist subject?
Sir Trevor McDonald.
Yes, the knighted journalist and renowned television news anchor, interviewer and presenter of documentaries. In 2 minutes, let's go. Sir Trevor was born George McDonald in 1939 in the borough of San Fernando on which Caribbean island?
Trinidad.
Yes, in 1969, McDonald joined the Caribbean Overseas Regional Service as a current affairs producer at which department of BBC Radio?
Commonwealth.
No, the World Service. What's the name of the programme director at Radio Trinidad, who gave McDonald his first job in broadcasting when he recruited him as a reporter in 1962?
Ken Goddard.
No, Ken Gordon. Which diplomat gave the young McDonald valuable insight into Trinidad's independence conference in London in 1962? McDonald later saying of him that he took pity on a cub reporter clearly struggling on his first major assignment.
Sir Leary Constantine.
Yes, according to his autobiography in December 1975, McDonald turned down an assignment to cover a siege at which organisation's headquarters because he didn't want to be away from home at Christmas.
Pass.
McDonald's groundbreaking interview with which dictator began with the question, the invasion of a neighbouring country with such calculated force and brutality is a very un-Arab thing to do, isn't it?
Saddam Hussein.
Yes, in 2018, McDonald succeeded Sir Michael Parkinson, serving for 2 years as the 39th president of what sport and disability charity?
Pass.
In which township did McDonald conduct the first interview by UK news media with the newly released Nelson Mandela in 1990?
Soweto.
Yes, on Desert Island Discs in 1994. Which composer's violin concerto did McDonald choose as his first piece of music, saying that he'd always thought if you were very good, when you die and you go to heaven, you'd probably hear it played?
Schubert.
No, Beethoven. McDonald has written the authorised biographies of Sir Vivian Richards and which other West Indian cricketer?
Clive Lloyd.
Yes, in his autobiography, McDonald recounts a story about having a gun pointed at him in Harare for failing to have the correct reporting accreditation to attend a conference where he was hoping to interview which politician?
Yasser Arafat.
Yes, McDonald was the chairman. I've started, so I'll finish. He was chairman of what initiative to improve written and spoken language in the UK, which had been launched in 1995 by the then Education Secretary, Gillian Shepherd?
Better English Project.
Yes, I'll accept that. It was the Better English Campaign. And Trevor, you had 2 passes. Sir Trevor McDonald succeeded Sir Michael Parkinson, heading up the Lord's Taverners. And in his autobiography, he turned down an assignment to cover a siege at OPEC in order not to be away from home at Christmas. Yeah, you knew that one. OK, and at the end of that round, Trevor, you've got 7 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Rob Price.
Your occupation?
Quality assurance manager.
And your specialist subject?
Leeds United Football Club.
Yes, the football club founded in 1919, who were one of England's most successful teams in the 1960s and 70s. In 2 minutes, let's go. The club anthem, written in 1972, is Leeds, 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 but is better known by what name derived from a line in its chorus?
Marching on together.
Yes, from 1920 until 1934, the team's home shirt had vertical stripes in white and what colour?
Blue.
Yes, which former England international, who'd captained Sunderland to the First Division title and FA Cup, succeeded Major Frank Buckley as Leeds manager in 1953?
Race Carter.
Yes, Leeds' first appearance in an FA Cup final was in 1965, when they lost 2-1 after extra time to which team?
Liverpool.
Yes, which artist and entrepreneur convinced the club to adopt new marketing ideas in the 1970s, including blue sock tags for the players bearing their numbers?
Pass.
In November 1953, which Scottish team were Leeds' opponents in the first floodlit match to be held at Elland Road?
Queen of the South.
No, Hibernian. Which player opened the scoring in the second leg of Leeds' 1970 European Cup semi-final against Celtic at Hampden Park in front of a competition record crowd of more than 136,000?
Billy Bremner.
Yes. Which club, who'd taken the place of the expelled Leeds City in October 1919, were the opposition for Leeds United's first Football League match the following year?
Port Vale.
Yes, which striker joined Leicester City in 1968 for a British record transfer fee, but was sold to Leeds a year later for a new record fee and became one of the club's most prolific strikers?
Alan Clark.
Yes, in the 1974 Charity Shield against Liverpool, what was the surname of the referee who sent off Billy Bremner and Kevin Keegan for fighting, prompting them both to remove their shirts as they left the pitch?
Taylor.
No, Mathewson. Which player suffered a dislocated elbow in the last minute of Leeds' 1972 FA Cup final victory against Arsenal and had to be helped up the steps to the Royal Box to meet the Queen?
Mick Jones.
Yes. What popular name was given to Elland Road's old barrel-roofed south stand? Study so I'll finish. Which was built in the 1920s and was eventually demolished and replaced in 1974?
Potting Shed.
Oh, the scratching shed. So, Rob, you had just the one pass. The artist and entrepreneur who convinced the club to adopt new marketing ideas in the 70s, it was Paul Trevelyan. And at the end of that round, Rob, you've got 8 points. And our next contender, please. Your name,
Sharon Redding.
your occupation,
Former teacher.
and your specialist subject.
Myrna Loy.
The American actress and civil rights activist who in the 1930s was dubbed the Queen of Hollywood. In 2 minutes, let's go. In 1921, the 16-year-old Loy posed as the model for a sculpture entitled Inspiration, which stood for nearly 80 years outside what Los Angeles school where she was a student?
Venice High School.
Yes, which leading man with whom she starred in 14 films is reputed to have said, "Even my best friends never failed to tell me that the smartest thing I ever did was to marry Myrna Loy on the screen"?
William Powell.
Yes, in the credits of What Price Beauty, Loy's character is referred to by what term, which would be associated with her throughout her early career?
The Perfect Wife.
No, Vamp. Loy first met her lifelong friend Joan Crawford while working as a chorus girl on what 1925 film?
Pretty Ladies.
Yes. What was the name of the dog playing the role of the fox terrier Asta, which bit Loy during the production of the 1934 film The Thin Man, prompting her to remark, "Our relationship was hardly idyllic"?
Skippy.
Yes, in what 1926 MGM silent film drama directed by Josef von Sternberg did Loy play a living statue, her body covered almost completely in white makeup?
Desert Song.
No, The Exquisite Sinner. In the 1932 Maurice Chevalier film Love Me Tonight, Loy sings a verse of what song, later claiming that it was the only time I've sung in the movies?
Wish Me Luck as You Wave Me Goodbye.
No, Mimi. Loy, outraged at racial stereotyping in films, asked in her autobiography, "Why does every black person in the movies have to play a servant? How about a black person walking up the steps of a courthouse carrying a what?"
Justice of the Peace Week.
No, Briefcase. Loy's last major role was in a made-for-television film entitled Summer Solstice, which was also the final performance of which actor whom she described as a great friend politically?
Henry Fonda.
Yes. Which publication did Loy sue for $1 million in 1946 after it accused her of being a communist, prompting them to print a front-page retraction?
The Hollywood Reporter.
Yes, after the passage of the 1968 Civil Rights Act. I've started, so I'll finish. The US President Lyndon Johnson sent Loy what gift in recognition of her support for the cause of racial equality?
One of his pens.
It was a pen. And Sharon, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, You've got 7 points.
Thank you, Clive.
And our final contender, please. Your name,
Carol Kermode,
your occupation,
farmer's wife,
and your specialist subject.
history of cattle.
Yes, the history of cattle in 2 minutes. Let's go. Modern domestic cattle are descended from what now extinct wild bovine species with the scientific name Bos primigenius.
Aurochs.
Yes, beef farming is commonly divided into 3 phases: rearing, growing, and what third phase, sometimes known as fattening, in which a cow is fed to an ideal weight for slaughter.
Finishing.
Yes, what's the 4-letter common name for the subspecies of cattle descended from the Indian aurochs and distinguished by a fatty hump on its shoulder?
Zebu.
Yes, what term has been used since at least the 17th century to refer to a female calf twin-born with a male who is usually sterile and often develops and behaves with bullish attributes?
Free Martin.
Yes, what breed was the American cow given the name Dominette, studied by scientists who, in 2009, published the first fully sequenced genome for cattle?
Hereford.
Yes, what was the name of the importer who, together with the Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortes, introduced the first known breeding herd of cattle to the North American mainland around 1521?
Christopher Columbus.
No, Gregorio Villalobos. The Royal Dairy in Windsor, home to a large herd of Jersey cattle, was constructed in 1848, principally under the direction of which member of the royal family?
Prince Albert.
Yes, a group of cattle is usually called a herd, though groups of Highland cattle are traditionally referred to by what other term, also the name given, to the stone shelters in which they were historically kept?
Fold.
Yes, a disorder known as milk fever, estimated to affect at least 5% of British cattle each year, is caused by a deficiency of what chemical element in the blood?
Calcium.
Yes, a Holstein cow, given the name Pauline Wayne, who grazed the lawn of the White House in the early 20th century, was kept as a pet by which US president?
President Taft.
Yes, what breed, which constitutes more than 90% of the dairy cattle in its home country and was developed by crossing several Scandinavian breeds, served as the model for the cows that appear in the popular video game Minecraft?
Swedish Red.
No, Norwegian Red, yes. And that's the end of your round. So, Carol, you had no passes, and you've got 9 points.
Thank you.
And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In joint 3rd place with 7 points each, it's Trevor and Sharon. In 2nd place with 8 points, it's Rob. And in 1st place with 9 points, it's Carol. So now it's general knowledge. And if there's a tie at the end of the round, then the number of passes is taken into account and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Trevor to join us again, please. Trevor, you start with 7 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. When rolling a standard pair of 6-sided dice, what's the lowest possible total?
3.
No, 2. A driving range is an outdoor area normally used to practice what ball sport?
Golf.
Yes. What term used in Japanese to say goodbye translates literally as, if it is to be that way?
Sayonara.
Yes, a bar called the Love Boat, a fitness centre named La Gymnastique, and the Park Cafe are locations in what television soap?
Hollyoaks.
Yes, which US First Lady wrote the 2012 book American Grown, which tells the story of the kitchen garden she created in the White House grounds as part of an effort to promote healthier eating?
Michelle Obama.
Yes, which seaside town in County Down at the mouth of Belfast Lough was awarded official city status in 2022?
Portrush.
No, Bangor. In 1957, Patricia Bredin was the UK's first representative at what annual musical competition held that year in Frankfurt?
Pass.
What term for a 4-line comic verse about a well-known person derives from the name of the writer and journalist who invented it?
Limerick.
No, Clerihew. A mausoleum in Moscow's Red Square is named after which Soviet leader whose body was preserved and put on public display there?
Lenin.
Yes, the 2019 film Little Women, which was nominated for 6 Oscars, was both directed and adapted for the screen by which American filmmaker?
Jane Bigelow.
No, Greta Gerwig. Doha is the capital city and chief port of which Middle Eastern country?
Dubai.
No, Kata, a chemical compound described as cupric or cuprous, contains which chemical element?
Copper.
Yes. In Greek mythology, the 9 deities most commonly said to be the daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne, who inspired creativity for artists, poets and philosophers, are known collectively by what name?
The Muses.
Yes, in the UK, a mixed drink known as a snake bite is made by adding lager to which other alcoholic beverage?
Cider.
Yes, in May 2023, which presenter and DJ took over the Radio 2 weekday mid-morning slot previously hosted for more than 30 years by Ken Bruce?
Vernon Kay.
Yes, in the British honours system, the letters KG after a person's name indicate the award Knight of the Most Noble Order of the what?
Garter.
Yes, in 2006, the Aubrey Theatre in London's West End was renamed in honour of which British playwright, composer and actor?
John Gielgud.
No, Noel Coward. What name from a Latin word for knife? I've started, so I'll finish. From a Latin word for knife is given to a small, very sharp knife, similar to a lancet, used in surgical operations.
Scalpel.
It is scalpel. Trevor, you had just the one pass. Patricia Bredin was the UK's first representative at the annual musical Eurovision Song Contest. So at the end of that round, Trevor, you've got 18 points.
Thank you.
Next up is Sharon. Sharon, you start with 7 points. The score to beat as it stands is 18 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The words physical, pneumonia and pseudonym all begin with which letter of the alphabet?
P.
Yes. What's the name of the author, broadcaster and journalist who presented the television quiz show University Challenge from 1994 to 2023?
Jeremy Paxman.
Yes. What region of northern France is named after the Viking raiders or Northmen who began to settle there in the 9th century?
Alsace.
No, Normandy. Which future poet laureate was born in 1770 in a house in Cockermouth, Cumbria, which was acquired by the National Trust in 1938?
Wordsworth.
Yes. What name is given to the female reproductive organ of a flower contained in a pistil, typically consisting of a stigma, a style, and an ovary?
Nasturtium.
No, carpal. In February 2023, which American singer broke the record for winning the most Grammy Awards when she won her 32nd prize in the category Best Dance or Electronic Album?
Beyonce.
Yes, the art of ornamental penmanship, using a pen or a brush, is usually known by what name from the Greek for beautiful writing?
Calligraphy.
Yes, in October 2022, Ulf Kristersson was elected as the Prime Minister of which European country?
Bulgaria.
No, Sweden. The Barbara Hepworth Museum and Sculpture Garden is in which seaside town in Cornwall?
St Ives.
Yes, Christy Mahan is the title character of what 1907 play by the Irish dramatist J.M. Singh?
Playboy of the Western World.
Yes, the 2 planets in our solar system that are classed as ice giants because of the huge volume of liquid believed to exist at their interiors are Uranus and which other planet?
Neptune.
Yes, a version of what egg-based dish with added spinach, broad beans, cheese and tarragon was selected by King Charles III and Queen Camilla as the signature dish for the coronation?
Quiche.
Yes. What French word for shirt is used in English for a short nightdress or item of lingerie similar to a camisole?
Chemise.
Yes, in Olympic athletics, the 4 throwing events are the discus, the javelin, the shot put and which other?
Hammer.
Yes. Which actor, known for his roles in the films This Is England and Boiling Point, as well as television dramas such as Line of Duty, Time and Help, was made an OBE in the 2023 New Year's Honours List?
Adrian Dunbar.
No, Stephen Graham. What name for a style of round, brimless hat with straight sides and a flat top is also a word for a small container for medicinal tablets?
Cap.
No, pillbox. Salop. I've started, so I'll finish. Salop is an alternative name for which English shire county?
Shropshire.
It is Shropshire. Sharon, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 19 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Rob. Rob, you start with 8 points. The score to beat as it stands is 19 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The term dawn chorus is most commonly used to refer to the early morning singing of what creatures?
Birds.
Yes, the Danish architect Jørn Utzon designed what famous Australian landmark completed in 1973?
Sydney Opera House.
Yes, which Conservative politician and former health secretary finished third in the 2022 series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here?
Ed Board.
No, Matt Hancock. In greyhound racing in Great Britain, a dog wearing a black jacket with a white numeral will start from which trap number?
1.
No, 4. The Fair Maid of Perth, loosely based on a novel by Sir Walter Scott, is an 1867 opera by which French composer?
Pass.
What name derived from Latin words for foot and care is given to a medical or cosmetic treatment of the feet and toenails?
Pedicure.
Yes, the 2002 film 8 Mile stars Eminem as a rapper called Jimmy Smith Jr. and which actress as his mother, Stephanie?
Kate Hudson.
No, Kim Basinger. What name, also that of a structure that houses insects, is given to a hairstyle in which the hair is shaped into a tall dome?
Beehive.
Yes. What term for a vast, largely treeless Arctic region with a permanently frozen subsoil is derived from a Sami word for hill?
Tundra.
Yes. Which author won the 2006 Booker Prize for her novel, The Inheritance of Loss?
Pass.
What was the basic unit of currency of Germany immediately before the introduction of the euro?
Deutschmark.
Yes. In which Norfolk seaside resort is there a monument to Horatio Nelson designed by the London architect William Wilkins and completed in 1819?
Kings Lynn.
No, Great Yarmouth. Which pop group had successive UK hit singles in 1982 with the songs Poison Arrow, The Look of Love and All of My Heart?
Spandau Ballet.
No, ABC. The Incheon landing led by the American general Douglas MacArthur was a decisive action in which 20th century conflict?
Second World War.
No, the Korean War. What name that translates from Italian as little crusts is given to small pieces of toasted or fried bread with a savoury topping served as appetizers?
Bruschetta.
No, crostini. Before the introduction of fuel injection systems, what component of a car engine, I've started so I'll finish, what component of a car engine ensured the correct ratio of petrol to air in the mixture entering the cylinder?
Carburettor.
It is carburettor. Just the 2 passes, Rob. Kieran Desai was the author who won the 2006 Booker Prize, and Georges Bizet wrote the opera based on The Fair Maid of Perth by Sir Walter Scott. At the end of that round, you've got 15 points. And finally, let's have Carol again, please. Carol, you start with 9 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Sharon's 19 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The Sicilian defence is a response to an opening move in what board game?
Chess.
Yes. Muharram, Safar and Rabi al-Awwal are the first 3 months of the calendar of which religion?
Muslim.
Yes, Islam. In the 1970s television sitcom Fawlty Towers, the hapless Spanish waiter Manuel is played by which actor?
Andrew Sachs.
Yes, the UK's second highest peak, Ben McDouey, is in which mountain range?
Ken Gomes.
Yes, what stage musical, which opened on Broadway in 2015 and in London 2 years later, features the songs Aaron Burr, Sir, Wait For It and 10 Dual Commandments?
Book of Mormon.
No, Hamilton. Macular degeneration is a disorder of which pair of organs in the human body?
Eyes.
Yes, which Irish singer had UK #1 albums entitled Without Fear in 2019 and Sonder in 2022?
Irish singer. Bono.
No, Dermot Kennedy. What blend of black tea flavoured with bergamot oil shares its name with a Whig politician who served as the UK Prime Minister in the 1830s?
Earl Grey.
Yes, in the 1980s and 90s, which American filmmaker was nominated for screenplay writing Oscars for the films Silkwood, When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle?
Philip Roth.
No, Nona Ephron. Which major railway station was opened in 1852 as the London terminus of the Great Northern Railway, and of what would later become known as the East Coast Main Line?
St Pancras.
No, King's Cross. In April 2022, Eric Ten Hag was appointed as the new manager of which English Premier League football club?
Manchester United.
Yes, which Russian-French artist, born in 1887, has a museum dedicated to his work in his childhood hometown of Vitebsk in modern-day Belarus, as well as one in the French city of Nice?
Pass.
The two wives of King Henry VIII who were beheaded were Anne Boleyn and who else?
Catherine Howard.
Yes, Catherine Howard. What word derived from the Latin word for 100 refers to the 100th anniversary of an event?
Centenary.
Yes, the 2007 novel, which is the third book in the Millennium Trilogy by Stieg Larsson, is entitled The Girl Who Kicked the what?
Hornet's Nest.
Yes, which annual award for outstanding achievements in science has been presented by the Royal Society since 1731? Notable winners including Dorothy Hodgkin, Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin.
Nobel Prize for Science.
No, it's the Copley Medal. And Carol, you had just the one pass. The Russian-French artist with a museum dedicated to his work in his childhood home in modern-day Belarus, it's Marc Chagall. And at the end of that round, Carol, you've got 19 points.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at the final scores. My word, it was close. In fourth place with 15 points, it's Rob. In third place with 18 points, Trevor. In second place with 19 points and one pass, it's Carol, which means in first place with 19 points and no passes is Sharon, which means she goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to her. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Just won my Mastermind heat. Honestly, I can't believe it. I'm amazed, actually. It's still sinking in. I watch Mastermind every week, and it's been a dream to come on it. It's kind of a bucket list thing.
Sharon, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 19 points.
Thank you. My strategy was don't pass. I know I probably gave some ridiculous answers, but I just thought, keep going, don't pass, it'll be fine. And hey, it paid off.